Paneurhythmy is a harmonious, creative manifestation of the divine in the universe. Paneurhythmy is the great universal harmony of movement in the whole cosmos. The master Peter Dunoff, Bensa Duno, gave the music and the movements of the Paneurhythmy. In the time when the master was physically present on earth, the following original books were published: Paneurhythmy Music, Paneurhythmy Movements and Music, Sunbeams. Later, more Paneurhythmy books were printed in French, English, Italian, and other languages. The master Peter Dunoff has linked spiritual principles with practical methods for opening our awareness in our physical bodies. The divine harmony is embodied in the sacred movements called Paneurhythmy. By means of it, we human beings can experience our place in the divine order. We can experience within ourselves balance, healing, harmony, renewed energy, and peace. Side by side, we develop the high levels of consciousness we will need in the time to come. We radiate this consciousness throughout the world, just as the winds blow and the waters flow. We move step by step into conscious harmony with all creation as we join our partners in the circle of the Paneurhythmy. This film was organized under the inspiration and guidance of Krum Vajarov, who became a disciple of Bensa Duno in 1927 and witnessed the presentation of the Paneurhythmy exercises. Krum organized a group of young people and, together with other disciples, passed on the teachings to them. In 1977, concerned that the spiritual essence, inspiration, and visual pattern of the authentic Paneurhythmy movements be preserved, 2 young students were selected to demonstrate the Paneurhythmy movements as they had been performed by Peter Dunoff and were presented by his disciples.
The first day of spring, awakening.
The great, the mighty in the world, which is awakening the human mind and heart, is the presence of God. We become powerful, and new ideas are born within us. We are now in that epoch. It is an art for a person to know how to awaken the divine in themselves and to make way for it.
Reconciliation.
Only those who are awakened, aware, and humble may create something and bear fruit. If you do not wake yourself up, you cannot work. If you do not reconcile yourself, your work will be fruitless.
Giving.
Reconciliation cannot be attained if there is no giving. First, we have to begin by giving. If we do not learn the law of giving, which is the first divine law, we will never learn the art of receiving. When you give with love and receive with love, you grow and develop correctly.
Ascending.
Ascending gives people joy. When descending, people undergo suffering, which develops their spiritual depth. This depth corresponds to the height to which they have risen. If there is no descending, people will know delight, but remain at the same stage of development.
Elevation.
When we go towards God, we have to take something. Moving downwards brings the blessings God has given us down to earth.
Opening.
Open the windows of your soul, and life will enter. Open wide your hearts so that divine warmth may enter, and you may feel divine joy and exaltation.
Liberation.
Human liberation does not come mechanically from outside. We have to elevate ourselves to the conditions where our souls may grow and develop correctly. This is an endless process, aspiration towards awakening and liberation. This is a collective process, an aspiration of all conscious beings. The love of God liberates people from their limitations.
Clapping.
The completed path, the rising truth, and the perfected life are to the sage joy, gladness, and peace, happiness, blessedness, and goodness.
Purification.
Absolute purity, absolute light, and absolute freedom must reign among you.
Flying.
The person who enters the divine world has their consciousness broadened. They pass from the state of the caterpillar to the state of the butterfly, from limiting conditions to the life of freedom.
Evera.
We may achieve everything with God's love, wisdom, and truth. These three great principles will show us the true path. When you accept divine love, you will learn what love is. When you pass it on, you will learn what divine wisdom is. When you apply divine love, you will learn what divine truth is.
Jumping.
humans always have to direct their minds toward God. That is the secret. In this contact with God, you will feel that happiness, power, rejuvenation that you wish for. There are thousands of paths to happiness, but there is no path more straight and pure than this. I already follow it, know it, and recommend it to you.
Weaving.
The good life involves weaving. That is, building and organizing the spiritual body. Thoughts, feelings, and actions are the materials from which the new tissue is woven. Build your home out of the fibers of love. Knit it out of the fibers of wisdom. Fortify it with the fibers of truth. Then throw a party at your home and ask love, wisdom, and truth to be your guests. Serve them so well that you may learn how you should be living.
Thinking.
The main purpose of life is to learn to think as God thinks. Each thought which brings light into your mind, we call a divine thought. Good thinking is thought penetrated with God's love. Thought, feeling, and action have to go together. If the divine thought which is coming to you does not create a feeling, and if it does not move into action, the link with the divine does not exist. It is severed, and you miss the full conditions for the manifestation of the divine. The one who thinks is wise and happy, because within this one, life, knowledge, light, freedom, and love are united in perfect harmony.
Aum.
Aum is a sacred word. Aum, Amen, Amen, Om are one and the same word, with a very powerful impact and great meaning. The whole universe uses this word. If you say Aum out loud often, you will experience its power. Amen, Amen contains everything within it. Amen. This is the key. With this word, you may unlock all doors.
The rising sun.
The rising sun reveals the glory of the day. Meet the first ray of the rising sun. It bears the richness of all the subsequent rays. The first ray is the first fruit of the rising sun of the great tree of life. The brightest thought, the most sublime feeling, and the most beautiful action are all contained in the first ray of the sun, the first ray that penetrates human souls.
Square.
The square is a measure for determining all the forces which are operating within you. You have to create the divine home within you. It is the new human body which people need for their new life. The four directions of the world show the qualities each person has to acquire. East represents the quality of justice. West, of good relations with people. North, of truth and freedom. And south, of virtue and prosperity in the world. Between justice, good countenance, truth and freedom, and virtue, there exists an internal harmony which people have just recently begun to learn. Justice cannot manifest without truth, and truth in turn cannot manifest without virtue. People must begin with justice, and begin from this moment. Truth is the final purpose of human evolution. Truth breaks down all chains, and humanity enters into freedom. Then human beings manifest what God has planted in their souls.
Beauty.
Beauty is one of the greatest treasures in life. Beauty is the external expression of the light which is emerging from God. The beautiful person reflects the divine light on to other people. The closer a person comes to God, the more beautiful they become. Beautiful and noble are those who have the truth within them. People have to ponder for a long time on beautiful things, to accept beautiful and sublime feelings and actions in order to create the precious traits in their character. Furthermore, every person must have something beautiful within themselves for which people love them. The beautiful and sublime must be our daily bread. People may be beautiful when they love, wisdom, and truth. Beautiful and noble are those who have the truth within them.
Mobility.
In mobility is the beauty of life. People have to be mobile like water, to be ready to communicate with people whom they meet on their path and to study them. This refers to living people who can move and become the master of themselves and of life.
conquering,
How and with what will you conquer? With love. Divine love is the only power which conquers evil. You will say to your soul, God is with you, you will conquer. The divine always conquers, and the human is always vanquished. This is the law without exceptions.
joy of the earth.
Enjoy the path of light in which you walk, rather than the lost path of darkness which you have already left. Enjoy that you have come to earth to study. Enjoy that you have finished your school and you will return back to your home and will bring knowledge within you. Enjoy that you will gain what you expect. Enjoy the goodness, the power, the beauty, and the health of people. Rejoice when you love, because God is manifesting Himself through you.
Acquaintance.
A beautiful friend is worth more than all the wealth in the world. We are coming together to know each other. To know someone is life eternal. It is said in the Scriptures, it is life eternal to know God. Because when we know God, He will also know us, and He will live within us forever. The day will come when the consciousness of people will be raised. Then they will understand life, and they will know each other. The extent to which they know each other will determine the closeness of their link. It will be better for many people to know each other. People have to be connected according to their consciousness, mind, heart, and spirit. This is what we call the inner bond of life. Linked in that way, people discover in every moment a beautiful thing within themselves. To see the good and beautiful in people means a stronger link with them. Only in that way may we use the conditions for developing our gifts and abilities. You will have success in your life and love when you see the manifestation of God in your neighbors and love God within them.
Beautiful day.
The beautiful day we have today shows what we have to do. Open our hearts so that God's love may flow through them. Turn the new page of your book and begin to write with the light of your mind and with the warmth of your heart. Love as God loves. Each day your mind has to be enlightened in order to receive more light. Your heart has to be enlarged, and your will has to become stronger in order to become bold and resolute in the good. The day is finished in a good way when you have added something new to your mind, heart, and will. This is a sign of correct growth. Each day brings to us something good which may uplift us. The day we prepare the best present for love, the new sun will be rising. The day we prepare the best present for wisdom, the sun will be at its zenith. The day we prepare the best present for truth, the sun will no longer set. It will begin to shine forever. We shall do the will of God, and we will become children of God, and will go from glory to glory.
How happy we are.
Be grateful and happy in all conditions of life. Whoever is satisfied with small things and gives thanks for them is already aiming at the great truth of life, which makes them free in all their manifestations. The sincere gratitude and appreciation of humanity towards nature and God is a payment for the blessings received. Whoever does not give thanks, and whoever is not satisfied, pays a tax. What is this tax? Sufferings. Each human thought, feeling, and action has to express gratitude towards God and towards all light and sublime beings for the good which has been given to us. Gratitude has to enter into the human soul as a necessity, not for one moment only, but forever.
Step by step.
If you do not understand something right away, you cannot apply it in your life. Comprehension makes the first step clear. If you take that first step, the second, the third, the fourth, the fifth, and the others follow. If you comprehend it right away, you have already taken the first step which decides the fate of your entire life. Obedience is the first step towards the light, vidalinata, of life. The disciple listens and fulfills. That is obedience. Obedience is the first degree of virtue, the foundation stone in building the great character of the disciple who is walking on the path. Each step upward, effort, hard work, and stability are required. The greatest blessings are not easily achieved.
Early in the morning.
The dawn gives a person great energy that cannot be obtained anywhere else. The sun of life will rise and disperse all foggy mists and will illuminate you with heavenly light.
Breathing.
Breathing is spiritual nourishment for human beings. The person who understands the laws of breathing also understands the laws of the spiritual world. Everyone has to carry the lamp of wisdom, filled with the oil of truth, and lit by the fire of love. Once you have lit that lamp, it will shine constantly. Divine blessings flow continuously in any home where that lamp shines.
Да пребъде Божият мир, да изгрее Божията радост и Божието веселие в нашите сърца. Да пребъде Божият мир, да изгрее Божията радост и Божието веселие в нашите сърца. Да пребъде Божият мир, да изгрее Божията радост и Божието веселие в нашите сърца.
Now, 26 years later, we, Maria and Gregory, express our awe and profound thanks to our beloved master Peter Dunoff, who gave the Paneurhythmy. Our special gratitude to the Master's disciples who passed on this treasure, inspired us, and taught us to dance correctly. Krum Vajarov. Yarmila Menslova, who was a professional dancer and choreographer. Maria Todorova. Boris Nikolov. Boyan Boev. Katya Griva. Vesela Nestorova. Elena Andreeva, and others. Our deep thanks to Milka Pereklieva, who recorded the first description of the Paneurhythmy exercises in 1938, Philip Stoitsev, for his arrangement and recording of the Paneurhythmy music. We are grateful to Gregory's father, George Kiosev, for the photos and precious footage of the master from 1944. Nadezhda Kioseva, Gregory's mother, who was the model for the picture on the cover of the book Paneurhythmy, 1938. Olga Slavcheva, Kirill Ekonomov, Pamporov, Maria Zlatova, Emil Kiosev, Petyo Zanov. We are grateful to Joanna Stratova for the music of the master in the first and last sections of this production. In the mystical Musala region and amidst the 7 lakes of the ancient Rila Mountains, cameraman Daniel Zhekov recorded the movements. Our thanks to Danielle and Philip Kargam for their kind loan of the film, which was given to them in 1979 by Brother Krum Vajarov as a tool to support their teaching of the Paneurhythmy in England. Phyllis Thorpe, who spoke the narration, which was recorded by Jerry Benner. We are grateful to all who made this possible, named and unnamed. We invite you, the viewer, to join us, to dance with us. You may experience for yourself the divine harmony, the Paneurhythmy.